ago, this is medieval times, it would be like John
Yeah.
the farmer, John the butcher. And then what it
Yeah.
was John's son, and then that became the surname. So then it was John Johnson, John Jackson. That
Oh.
that's how it worked in England. So in the same way, arranged marriages were actually from the working class of working areas within certain areas. And then also it's in also the royal families. So the idea of royal families were also linked to blood lineage. So from my understanding,
Yeah.
this is going to be quite an interesting for you to understand. So in my family, most people were always married in the same area. So for example, I could look at some people in my family. I know like the rough place I'm going to know they're going to live in this town, and their parents will live in this town, and their parents will live in this town. It's quite common. And then the only reason people moved was for work. So, for example, like my grandfather, he moved from Newcastle because he was bombed out in the Second World War and moved to London. So then he,
Right.
my grandmother, in London. So that's why that would have happened. But otherwise, like this, he would have married someone in Newcastle. Now, it's not the same caste, whatever it is, but it's people generally didn't move around a lot because they didn't have the means for transport. You've got to remember,
Hmm.
cars really were around by like 1920, 1930, 30,
Right.
actually when Henry Ford invented the car. So most people, if they actually had to go anywhere, it was a horse and car. And that was dangerous because most people got robbed on a highway or whatever that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people did marry in their communities. Like you will find a lot of Irish people. They go, "Oh, you've got this surname." Oh, and they find out like that cousin's their third, fourth cousin, right? Because of the surname. And it's
Right.
and actually in Ireland, certain names come from certain places. So it's very much it was in English culture. So when people think, "Oh, it only happens in like Asia or Africa," it doesn't. It's actually very much common in our culture. But the thing is, what's happening now is because
Yeah.
we're more global and becoming more national at the same time, we
Yeah.
people. So, for example, if I dated someone, I've
Hmm.
now found out through my DNA that because my great grandmother was adopted from Tamil Nadu, I've now
Hmm.
actually found I've got four, five, fifth cousins who are Tamil who actually live in England, and they
Oh
are
wow.
genetically linked to me because of my great grandmother.